Hello everyone, this is Tema2010 and I'm going to show you some new cool features of GTOBase which are available in the latest release. Okay, let's start with the View tab and first talk a little bit about viewer features. First, a separate color for all lints. Many users have requested this one, so here you go. Now you can set a color that you like. You just go here in Settings, then Preferences, and here it is. Choose the color to your liking, and this color will not change no matter how many sizings you have in the tree. So for example, here we have three different erasing sizes, one of which is all in. And it's purple just as we said before, and if we go to limping node, we see that now there are 5 sizings, one of which is all in, and the color for all in is still the same. Next, this little pop-up window you can see when you hover over hands in the big matrix is now also available in the small 4-on-4 matrix. Now you can see a more detailed strategy for each and every combo. And also it works here in the combos section. You can pick specific combos here like nothing, king high, ace high, overpair. And this is for pre-flop, but if we go on the flop, let's pick a random flop like Jack 10-7. Now there are many more types of combos and draws, and we can see all of them right here. We also see the equity that this group of hands possess, we see the percentage of total hands, and we see an average strategy for each category. And of course, if you want to see a specific hand, we can do it right here. Also, we can now pick a certain action and take a look on all the hands that choose this action. Like for example, if we pick check right here, we see all the combos that prefer checking. You just click on the action you want to explore and here goes. And yeah, we can choose 2 actions at once. We can choose a certain action like bet 2 for example, or bet 1 or whatever. And if we want to deactivate the filter, we just click on the action once more. And yeah, if you want to ignore one of the actions like bet 1 for example, we can choose 3 of the other actions and see the strategy. Now you can also export ranges from the viewer. And you can export it to any software that actually supports this type of text import of ranges. And you get all the ranges for the very first action on every street. So for example, here on the flop, you can either click SB to copy range for small blind or click BB and copy range for big blind. And then you just paste it to the program you want. And here in simple post flop, we can choose the street, we can enter all the cards, flop and turn. We can choose the main pot size, the effective stack size. We can choose who is out of position, and then we click apply situation. We choose all the sizings we want, and if you want to copy ranges from GTOBase, we click here. And first we paste range for the small blind like that. Then we click here and paste the range for big blind. And now we have a complete game tree and we can take a look at our strategy. And if you copy ranges from GTOBase to simple post flop, the strategy will be the same. Well, it can differ slightly if you choose different settings. Next feature I would like to talk about is a dynamic filter for combo draws. What does it mean? So for example, if I want to see how I should play only nothing hands like pure air and my draws, I can select these types of hands and take a look at the number of combos for each category, take a look at equity and take a look at strategy. I mean, the different colors here show what action we prefer. Then if I want to see how to play my draws with second pair, for example, I click here, it's easy. Or if I want to see how I should play my combo draws, it doesn't matter if I have 2 pairs or nothing or whatever. And then I do this and I see that I have combo draws with nothing, combo draws with top pair, it's Jack 9 of diamonds, for example. And yeah, when I choose different combos with draws, these overall combos at the top change. And yeah, this way we, for example, can see how we should play our nothing hands, I mean our pure air hands, whether we should bet those or check. And yeah, I think this feature would be pretty handy for many players. Then we switch to hand step, and again we go through all the features that are either renewed or introduced. Okay, if we choose a hand, we see all the actions on the right, and now you see the situation, button versus big blind, and positions of every player. And button is always blue, big blind always yellow, and small blind always red. So we decided to choose different colors for you not to get confused. You can see the color and realize what position this is. Also, we added this little column right here named diff percentage. And this basically shows the difference between frequencies of the most popular option according to GTO and the option that hero has chosen during the game. For example, let's go through this hand. It's a button versus big blind spot. Hero has 4-3 of diamonds. Raise call pre-flop. Hero is on the big blind. Flop is queen 10-5, 2 diamonds, check check, 8 on the turn, 8 of clubs, and hero bets. According to the solver, this is a mistake, and this mistake costs our hero about 0.01 EV. And as we see, this bet is acceptable. Program uses it 15% of the time, but the most popular option is bet for 50. And we also see that the difference in frequencies between B3.25 and 450 is 60% rounded up. And yeah, here it is, 59.36. Basically the same with no rounding. So this feature is for players who want to see not only mistakes in EV, but the difference between their option and the most frequent option according to GTO. And we also introduced this little EV loss feature. So basically it's a filter for all the hands with a certain EV loss parameter. For example, if you don't want to see the hands where you lose just a little bit of EV, and you only want to see the hands where you lose, let's say, half of big blind per hand, then you type here 0.5, and you see only hands with EV loss of 0.5 and more. Oh, I messed this up, I should use dot, not the comma. So we enter 0.5, and here we go. We only see hands where we lose 0.5 BBs or more. We also see that some of the letters representing our action, I mean hero's action, are now red. It means that this action was incorrect. For example, let's take a look at this hand, button versus big blind. We are on the big blind with 8-6 offsuit. Button raises, we call. Effective stack 25 BBs, flop 10-5 for rainbow. We check raise on the flop, button calls, 7 of hearts on the turn. And we bet, and as you see, this one is incorrect. Let's take a look and figure out why. Okay, we only check raise 5% on the flop with this hand, but it's fine. And on the turn, we actually bet 650 in the hand, but since it always round up to the closest number in the solver, it became 725, and we never use this sizing. We only bet small or check a little bit. So yeah, basically we bet quarter of the pot with this hand almost always. So yeah, this is a mistake, and by the way, you can now also see the details of your mistake when you hover over this red little letter. So yeah, we mouse over this little B right here, and we see how much EV we lose with this mistake and how actually we should have played. And yeah, we see all the options. This is very handy, I think. We see that this bet we only choose like 0.01% of the time. We prefer check like 26% of the time, and we bet a small 93.71% of the time. NEVs of small betting and checking are basically the same. And yeah, for every mistake we can see this little pop-up. For example, here we've had a small pair with a backdoor flush draw, and we fold it, and this is a mistake. And if we click on the action, we are transferred straight to the viewer. And this is the exact node of the game tree where we made our mistake. Button bets 3.25, and with king 3 offsuit we continue all the time. But of course, it can be that villain here is recreational and hero is just adjusting his game. And it could be totally fine, this fold against certain type of players. But then again, we see that we should never fold this hand, and EV of calling is actually plus 1.13, which in terms of win rate means 113 BBs per 100. And it's quite a lot. And let's go through one more hand. This one, for example, we open King 9 suited on the button, get called. Flop 10-8 deuce, we have a backdoor flush draw and overcard. We bet, our opponent calls, King on the turn. Our opponent checks, we bet, he raises, and we fold. And this is a mistake. And then again, it is a mistake according to GTO, but if our opponent is a recreational player, this fold could be easily justified. So yeah, playing against Rex, we certainly can deviate from GTO lines. And if you want to analyze smaller mistakes, for example, mistakes with 0.25 EV loss, then we type this here. And if we want to analyze a certain mistake, for example, when we are playing against button and we pro bet on the turn, we can use certain filters for these spots. And how to do that? Okay, we go here, we choose hero position, big blind in this case, and yeah, here we have already picked button versus big blind spot. Then we should type in the line right here, so raise call preflop, RC, check on the flop, XX, and then we bet on the turn. Now we see all the spots with us pro betting on the turn. And all the spots where B is red on the turn are the spots where we made a mistake pro betting on the turn. And by the way, EV loss here is adding up. So for example, if we've made a couple of mistakes during the hand, the EV loss would be a total of all those mistakes. But this little pop-up window only show the EV loss of this certain mistake. For example, this hand at the very top, we have aces, we call pre-flop with effective stacks of 12 BBs. Flop is 6-3-2, we both check, and we pro bet with jack on the turn. And we see that this is actually way too big. We either pro bet really small, 1 BB, or we check again. And we actually mostly check 79%. And yeah, EV loss is pretty big. We can open this hand in a viewer, and we can try to figure out here why actually we can't bet big on the turn. Okay, we mostly bet a6, king 8, king 7 as a bluff. And yeah, hands like aces we mostly check because we don't need any protection, we have a lot of equity, and there are no hands we can get value from, probably. The thing is that with these stack sizes, there are a lot of ace-x hands in button range, and he should call most of these ace-x hands on the turn. So when we block those ace-x hands so heavily, we prefer not to bet at all, or very seldom. This feature is going to be very useful for many users, because now you can work with your mistakes in certain spots in more detail. And we're not going to stop with adding new features and updating old ones. And if you have any ideas, any suggestions on the next features that we can introduce, please let us know. Your opinion is highly appreciated. Thank you and have a good day.